Hi everyone. Today we're going to make jalapenos. 3 different ways actually. Method number 1 is biscuits. So we're going to need cheese, some Bisquick mix, I have the packet, and some jalapenos. So we need to slice the jalapenos up, clean them, slice them into pieces. So that's what we're going to do right here. And once you take the top off, there's also still some peppers you can use in that, and that's a whole other story. But we want to cut these into pieces. Now after doing this, my personal preference, I might not have chopped them so small. But I was thinking they might be just a little too big in the biscuit mix. That wasn't really the case. So a little bigger than what I showed there is going to still work out. I will set that aside. And into a bowl goes our Bisquick mix. It's about 2 cups. The jalapenos go in next. And of course, what's a biscuit without some cheese? So that was the end of the bag of cheese I had. Probably about a cup. And once this is all mixed up, all the dry ingredients, once this is done, I decide, yeah, maybe that's not quite enough jalapenos. So the part I didn't cut up, I did. So that's 1 good size jalapeno that's going to go in this mix. If you want it with a little more kick, hey, cut up 2. I mean, you can put as much as you want in. I found this was probably the best balance for, us normal people. So we've got everything all incorporated. Now, of course, we need some liquid, some water. We're going to mix it into a dough. Now, of course, it's sticky at this point, so it's a little messy getting it on the baking sheet. But with a little bit of patience and perseverance, there's our biscuits. 7. I probably could have made an even 8 if I wanted to, but there you go. Into the oven, 350, out 15 minutes later. Don't those look yummy? Next up is stuffed jalapenos. I've been making these for quite some time. Thanks to my sister-in-law's niece, who brought it to her birthday party years ago. I said, I got to make these. And there's your simple ingredients: bacon, cream cheese, jalapenos, and of course you're going to need some gloves. The first thing we need to do is to chop up these jalapenos. We'll cut the ends off each of them. And I try to buy the longer ones so that I can actually make double the peppers. So they're long enough that I can cut them in half and cut them in half again. So each jalapeno will give me 4 bites. But if you get the smaller ones, that's okay too. It's just, you need twice as many peppers to work with. So we'll put those aside, take all the seeds and the ribs out, give them a quick rinse with some water, and here we are. So now, the next step, we're going to chop those halves in half. So you can see it's not a difficult job, and each pepper is going to give you 4. So, if you want to make a lot, you know how many you're going to need. You just count. What I would normally do is with the bacon, I will cut it in half out of the package, and I'll take each piece apart, but then I'll know how many pieces of bacon I have versus how many pieces of jalapeno. So once you've got the cream cheese out, and it's easier at room temperature, just need a butter knife, and you're just going to put some in each one of the peppers. Now you don't need it sticking out the sides. In the middle is just fine. And you put a ton if you want. I just put enough that it's in there, you can taste it, and you don't want it taking away from the bacon and the pepper. We get them all stuffed. Now the fun part, the bacon. We're going to wrap them. Half a piece of bacon's more than enough. If you really want to wrap it in a full piece, go ahead. What the trick with this is, you want to start up top, but you want to end up with the end of the piece on the bottom. It takes a little bit of finagling to figure out how far you've got to go, but basically you just roll them, have the edge on the bottom, and that way when we cook them, and I've had it where the edge has been on the top and it literally falls apart. This way I don't have to get a toothpick and hold it together. So I'll wrap each one of these. And I'm only making a small batch here, small batch appetizers. So it's in a pie tin with some parchment paper. Into the oven it goes, 400, about a half an hour. And when they're done, there they are, and they are great. Now the next one we're going to do is bites. My brother in his restaurant makes garlic bites. We're going to add a little bit to it. So here's some cheddar cheese. Now next time I'm either going to use Swiss or mozzarella, because cheddar just doesn't hold together as well in the oven. It tastes great, but it just doesn't hold together. So we're going to take the cheese and we're going to slice it into small slices, because this is going to get stuffed into our dough. Well, there you see I've got a big stack of cheese. Put that aside. Next up is the jalapenos. And we're going to slice them into small pieces too, because that's going to get wrapped in the bite. And you'll see as we go how it's going to work. Once again, if you want thicker pieces, make thicker pieces. It'll work out just fine. This is kind of a trial and error. I've made bites before at my brother's restaurant, but never stuffed bites. So here's some dough I've already made, and I had it in the freezer, so it thawed out. I let it rise all day. Well, not all day. 3-4 hours. So now we're going to roll it out. You want them into small, maybe an inch size pieces once they're rolled out. And of course I'm struggling with the dough because even though it's sat, it just didn't want to cooperate. So I'll take my pizza cutter and cut in the pieces. And normally, as you see them, those would go on a pan and into the oven. But we're going to stretch out each one and try stuffing them. That's a pretty simple process. You spread out the dough, you get a hunk of cheese and a hunk of jalapeno, and then you just have to roll it back together and try and get it to not fall apart. You don't want it super thin, because if it's super thin, you'll never be able to get the dough rolled out. So as you can see there, I've kind of mushed it over to the bottom. So we'll do another one. So basically you just have to pull it apart, grab a hunk of cheese, a piece of jalapeno, and then you just kind of fold, fold, fold. And there you go. Bite number 2. Now I just have to do this a whole bunch of times. It can get a little monotonous. And plus, too, I found out some of the pieces that I had cut were way too big. You want bites, you don't want mouth size. Plus, I had lots of cheese and jalapenos. So here we are, we're done. Now we're going to put them on, of course, a baking sheet, lined baking sheet. And we'll make sure they all fit. And these are going to go into the oven. 375, 15-ish minutes. Have an eye on them when they come out. They should look golden brown. Something like this. Oh, those look yummy. Now you can see how the cheese is kind of leaked off. So if it was a mozzarella or maybe Swiss or something a little harder, it won't fall apart like that. We're taking each one of these bites, we're going to put them in a bowl, and the last part is they get mixed with garlic butter. Oh, it's yummy just like that. Okay, so we're going to put these in a bowl, and look at that. Garlic bites with cheese and jalapeno. Sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on top. That's some good appetizers right there. There you have it. Another recipe. I hope you will try it. If you do, leave me a comment below. Hit the like button. I'd sure appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the bell. That'll tell you the next time I upload a video. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.